God is good.
I'd like to say good evening to everyone.
I had a
And giving our praise
sugar
unto God, the Father, and to His Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ, our teacher, our leader, our guide, Holy Spirit. Truly we thank God this evening for one more opportunity to come down that we might further study from God's holy word. Believing that we need God's word to lead and guide us.
Yes, indeed.
And in time like we are living in right today.
Yes.
And the scripture said that a good man's steps, they are ordered by the Lord.
Yes, yes.
And we need the Lord to order our steps.
Yes.
In all that we do.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
We are still studying from the judges that God sent to the nation of Israel to deliver them out of the sinful ways. Out of their sinful ways caused God to allow other nations to bring oppression on them.
That's right.
Yep.
But after so long, then God would come back and straighten things out for his people.
Yep.
And when we study about these judges, we said God gave them the judges, and they was born for this purpose.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And we are studying tonight, our subject is Samson against the Philistines.
Mm-hmm.
And I must say that Samson, we all know about him because of the strength that he had.
That's right.
But Samson was a character.
Yeah.
Yes, he will.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was somewhat different from most of the judges. And also, I think after we studied about Samson, it should teach us how we should deal with individuals inside of the church. I know the word of people, they misunderstand the people of the church. Somewhere they come to the conclusion, and I don't know where this came from, that everybody's perfect in the church.
Yeah.
That there's no one perfect in the church.
That's right.
Every last one of us is a sinner
That's right.
that's saved by grace.
That's right.
And every last one of us, we continue to make mistakes.
That's
But God is such a good God until he fixes the mistakes that we make. And I wish we could learn that, and I would encourage all of the Christians never try to present ourselves before anyone else like we're perfect.
That's right.
And we need to let the people of the world know that we're no different than you.
That's right. That's right.
One of the greatest advantages that we have in being a Christian is that we know whatever we get ourselves into, God is going to help us get out of it.
That's right.
But we're no better than anyone else, and we're going to find out that this was a bad character here.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You know, he has some traits about him make you wonder, man, he don't seem like a man of God.
That's right.
But yet and still, God used him. And it says Samson against the Philistines.
Yeah.
And before we get into the lesson, I want to open it up because when you study these lessons, sometimes anytime in the Old Testament, it's a little bit harder to understand than the New Testament. But to open this lesson up, where we could have an understanding about what's going on in this particular lesson, we started in chapter, let me give you the scriptures to all our listeners. Our scriptures is found in Judges, chapter 15, verses 9 through verse 20. Judges, 15th chapter, verses 9 through verse 20. But to open up our understanding to find out what's going on in this lesson, we need to go back to the 13th chapter.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask Mr. Porter if she would to read Judges 13, 1 through 5, I believe. That would give us enough. No, go ahead to 13, 1 through 6. Kind of help us to understand what's going on in our lesson. And who this Samson is.
Chapter 13. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. And there was a certain man, Azorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bare not.
Yeah.
And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, Behold now, thou art barren, and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head.
Yes.
For the child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb. And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God,
Oh, Lord.
very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told he me his name. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and not drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death.
Okay. And that child that she just read about, this is Samson, that we are learning about in the 13th chapter. And notice, she led out the 13th chapter saying that the nation of Israel has sinned again.
Yeah.
And since they have sinned again, God, notice, let me back up a little bit, they have been oppressed for 40 years. And the reason for this oppression is because they continue to, God straighten things up by sending the judges to put them on the right path. They stay on the right path for so long, and what do? They go back to sinning again. So we find out that she just read how the Lord was getting ready to send him a deliverer before the boy was even born.
Yep.
They did evil again, and for 40 years God had turned them over to the Philistines. And in the 13th chapter, verse 1 through 6, it told us that his mother was a barren lady. And God knows anytime you're barren, one thing they want is a child. And the Lord had blessed her with a child, and he also let her know that it's going to be a boy. You shall bear a son. And this boy was going to be a holy child.
Yeah.
Why you say holy child? Because he was going to be a Nazarite. And he was to have nothing to do with no wine, no strong drinks. He was not to eat anything unclean, wasn't to touch anything dead. And even with this boy, they were to put no razor on his head. And the strength was going to be in his hair. We know about it, Samson. But all of this is God setting up someone to deliver the nation of Israel again. Why? Because they sin again. They are no different than we are in 2020. This is what's wrong with not only America, but this is what's wrong with the whole world today.
That's right.
But I do want to speak of America, a nation that sticks her chest out. After every political speech and close it with God bless America. But yet and still, we don't want to live the way God tells us to live.
Come on.
And all of these laws we're passing.
Come on.
And the fact that we don't want his son even mentioned in our prayer no more. Don't want him in the courthouse. Don't want him in the schoolhouse. And again, now we don't even want him in our own public house. Don't respect for him even in the church house.
Come on.
We're no better than they were then. But we thank God. God is going to always take care of his people. He wants to take care of the whole world, but he used his people to be an example to the world. To show them how good God is.
Yeah.
So we find out that they had messed up again. Now let's go into our lesson on Judges 15 and 9. And it said, then the Philistines, and remember that God put them in the hands of the Philistines.
That's right.
And our lesson tells us, then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Leah. Now, let me say something about this. Leah, at this point, when all of this is going on, it didn't even exist at this particular time. But we will find out in the lesson how this Leah came about. But at this particular time, it did not exist. Now, if you have your Bible open and you back up one scripture, we will find out that Samson had went and done some terrible things. He had done some terrible things, and the reason the Philistines are there, that they had pitched there, they went up and pitched in Judah, is because of some of the things that Samson had did. But Samson was not here where they pitched themselves. In other words, they were preparing to go to war. Now, if you back up one scripture, we can find out where Samson was. Samson was resting in a cave called Etham. But they pitched this, they came on the shores of Judah, which was somewhere about 6 miles from where Samson was. And the scripture said, then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Leah. Now that was a great number. I don't have an exact number, but they came up to do some fighting. Because this boy had did some bad stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about it. It said, and the men of Judah said, why are ye come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson. Or we come up to do to him as he had done to us. So, the Judah is a tribe its own self.
Yep.
Now, Samson, he was not from the tribe of Judah. I believe Samson was actually from the tribe of Dan. But here they are, placing themselves close to Judah, because we know that there are just 12 tribes make up the nation of Israel. So here we find them coming up to war close to the area where Judah is located. We know that's southern Israel. And they wanted to know, why are you coming up against us? And one of the reasons they want to know why you're doing this is because we know that you are over us. And everything that you ask of us, this is the nation of Judah. We do it. We give you your tribute. We don't rebel against you. So why are you coming up here to attack us in this manner with your truth? And they explained to him because of what Samson did to us. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit and try to bring up to date about what Samson did to them. Now, you can point fingers about who started this. But to me, Samson started. He started it because, first of all, he wanted a wife. We do know that he had problems with women.
Yeah.
And he wanted a Philistine wife, which his mom and his dad told him, can't you find you a wife in the nation of Israel? And he was bold. He was arrogant.
What do you want?
Could you see the difference? We had a little timid one last week. We had one that was scared last week. We had one that Gideon God had to convince him. God had to work all kind of miracles to get him enough nerve to go up against. Now he's fooling with a bold man.
Yeah. I mean,
And he's bold in dealing with his mom and his dad.
That's right.
And he told him, no, I want this Philistine woman. And I want y'all to go down here with me to get her.
Yeah, he was persistent. Yes, sir.
And they went with him to get the woman. And yes, and everything was lined up. He was going to have him a wedding, a 7-day evening.
That's right.
And then after 7 days, first of all, that's the first thing I want to talk about. He had no business wanting to marry no Philistine woman. Because during this time, God wanted them to keep it in the family.
That's right.
So he went down there, wanted this Philistine lady, and after he convinced her father to let them get married, he told some Midianite, some Philistines, I'm going to give you a riddle. And he said to them, I'm going to give you a riddle, and whoever answers the riddle, I'll give you 30 sheep, and I'll give you 30 changes of gum. And he said, if you cannot answer the riddle, then you do the same to me. And they agreed on it. And he came up with a riddle that they could not answer. And before he gave him this riddle, a lion had come upon him. And he slew the lion with his bare hand. And he was leaving from his wife's father's house, going back to Ethan where he stayed. And when he passed the lion up, he found out that some bees had got in the carcass. And he reached down and remember, he was a Nazarite. He don't supposed to touch nothing dead. So we're going to reach inside of the carcass and get him some honey and eat it. And this riddle that he gave them was dealing with that lime and that honey that he got out of the carcass. Now, you have to go back and read all this because it take me too long. And we all on the schedule. But this is how the trouble got started. On that getting close to the 7th day, where these men could not answer the riddle, they went and talked to his wife. And you can find this, I believe, in the 14th chapter, in the 15th verse, that they threatened his wife. And they told his wife that if you don't reveal to us what that riddle is, we're going to burn you and we're going to burn your father's house. So out of fear, she told them what the riddle was. And when Samson came and he answered the riddle, he knew what they had done to his wife. Now keep in mind what he told them. He said, if you answer it, I'll give you 30 sheep and 30 changes of garments. And if you cannot answer it, then that's what you do for me. So since they answered it, he got upset, he got angry, and he knew that they had tricked his wife. So what Samson did is he went and killed 30 men and took their garments and took their sheep, and this is what he gave the Philistines. This is where the trouble got started. And then, once his father-in-law found out he had done all of these things, when it was time for him to marry that woman, the father gave his wife to his best friend.
Yep.
And when Samson questioned his father about giving his wife to his best friend, he told him, well, I got a second daughter who looks better than the one you want to marry. So by this time, Samson is hot. Samson is smoking at this
Yeah,
time.
he's smoking.
And the fact that his dad-in-law gave his wife away, And he was a Philistine.
Yep.
This boy went out and got him 300 foxes.
Yes, sir. I didn't care. Come on.
And he tied the fox's tail together.
Yep.
And when he tied their tails together, he set them on fire and sent him through the Philistine crops.
Yes, sir.
And these 300 foxes destroyed their crops.
Yes, indeed.
And when the Philistines found about that, that's what's leading up to this 10th verse. Where he said, the men of Judah said, why are you come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson. Or we come up to do to him as he had done to us. He destroyed our crops. And we coming up to destroy him. This Samson did all of this. And that's why I'm saying he was at fault, because he never should have been down there in the first place, wanting to marry no Philistine woman. And another thing, he should have listened to his parents. But he was persistent in doing all this. And even though he was rejected, what did he do? He went out to do what? The Bible said vengeance belonged to the God, but he went out and got some vengeance against the Philistines. Like I was telling you, when you study about this boy, he don't seem like he was called by God, because he was not to be played with. So we find out that leads us up to this 10th verse on why they came. And they came at the nation of Judah, but Judah let them know we haven't done nothing wrong. We pay our tribute. Why are you up here? And that's what leads us into this 11th verse. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock of Ephraim. See, that's where he was. That's what Samson was. He wasn't in Judah, but he was at the top of the rock of Ephraim. And notice here, let's go back to what I was telling you up in verse 9, that Lehi had not been, it did not exist. It was a place, but it had no name at this time. But we find out where Samson was. And said to Samson, I'm still in verse 11, and said to Samson, knowest thou not that the Philistines are ruler over us? That's what Judah is telling them. That they're over us. Well, why are you doing this to them? And they are ruling over us. And, matter of fact, we've been dealing with them up until this point, but look, you got these men camped all around our shore, want to battle against us. What is this that thou hast done unto us? That's the Judah telling them. And he said unto them, as they did unto me, I want revenge. I got revenge. And that's not the way of God for us to seek revenge. God said, revenge belongs where? He said, but vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So we can see how these boys was out of line with who God. Two cases we can see. Want to marry a Philistine lady? And now he's seeking vengeance in his heart. As they did unto me, so have I done to them. He's boasting about it. This boy does not play. See the difference in the one last week and the one in this week? That's why we have to learn how we have to, when God assembles a church together, we can't want everybody to be how we want them to be.
That's right.
Look at the difference in these two men. One of them was scared. One of them got at the convinced. And here we have another. You better not mess with me. I'm not the one that you play with. And we know that's not the attitude that God people should have, but he had this attitude. And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee. That's what the nation of Judah is saying to him. We have come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hands of the Philistines. I imagine he kind of felt like he was betrayed at this point. Because now, let me show. Let's go back up to verse 11. They didn't come down there with no handful. What verse 11 tells us what?
3,000.
They brought 3,000 men. They know this boy is not to be played with. You sometimes God calls some of us, they're not to be played with. So they come up with 3,000 and tell them that they come down to thee, that we may deliver thee into the hands of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that you will not fall upon me yourself. And in other words, don't you think you just gonna come and take me? Don't you think you get coming in here telling me what to do? Now, if you want to do some deal with me, you're going to have to swear something to me. And if you're not willing to swear, Lord have mercy, something might get ready to happen here. He said, I need some proof from you. And they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand. Let me stop right there for a minute. Because this is the nation of Israel. And even though, as we went back over this, and I'm telling you how I feel about this, how Samson had brought this on his own self. But even though, like I said, Samson had brought this on his own self, we also got to keep in mind why he was born. See, we can't never tell what God is doing. We have our opinion on how things ought to go. How God ought to do this like this. Or God, this boy was born into the world for a purpose. So we can say what we want to, but the thing that I said I want to stop right there was that the nation, the Jews were saying that we're going to deliver thee into thine hand. When I read that, I thought about what they said to Jesus. We're going to deliver you into the hand of the priest, they delivered Jesus into the hands of the Roman government. I just couldn't help but to think that. But here they are saying, we will deliver thee in their hand. I don't even know if they wanted to sit down and try to negotiate with him or not, but that thought went through my head. But he said, but surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. Notice, it got my attention when they said 2 new cords. If it was one of us in here, any average man, I think 1 cord
Probably wouldn't be needed. Come on.
would have been enough. And I don't think the cord necessarily has to be a new cord. Because if you got a rope, the more you use the rope, the weaker the rope gonna get. But not only do they want you use 1 cord, but they want to double the cord because they knew by doubling the cord it'll hold this man. And we don't want none of that old stuff over there because it might give. So let's get 2 new cords. They were looking for some insurance on something that was going to hold this man.
That's because of strength.
Yes. Before they asked the question, yes, they were looking for something strong to hold him. And the fact that they put 2 on him and they were brand new, that meant that they were strong. And they brought him up from the rock. And when they came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mighty upon him. And the cords that were upon his arm became as flat. that was burnt with fire.
Hmm.
And his hand loosened from all, the band loosened from all his hands. Let's go back to the part where they said that when Judah delivered him and had the cords tied around his hand. And when the Philistines saw this, in verse 14, that's the second sentence there, it said that they shouted against him. In other words, when they saw him in bonds, they rejoiced. And it was a shout of victory. That we are victorious because we got this strong man. And we see that he's bound. So they had a cry of victory for what their eyes seen. But the scripture said that the cord that was up on his arm became as flat that they were burnt with fire. Have you ever seen some fire on some plastic? It just melted away.
That's right.
And what caused this? What caused these bombs to just melt away like wax when you put fire on? What caused all this? Thank you, Deacon Preston. It's found in the first part of the 14th. It was the Spirit of the Lord came mighty upon him. And when that Spirit came upon him, those cords of rope were just like putting a cigarette lighter or fire on some wax. It just melted. And it just gives away. What a mighty God that we serve. They were as they were. Fire had been on wax, and the band loosened from off his hand. So they tell me all that celebrating that they did with their victory cry, it was premature. And why was it premature? Because God is behind this. And my brother, that third member of the Trinity, when it moves, and most of us here are we familiar with the third member of the Trinity? Because we can't do anything without that Holy Spirit. We need God's Holy Spirit in times like this. That third member of the Trinity will lead us. It will guide us. It will trouble our mind. It will help us to do the right thing. And that's why Bible study is so important. Because we can get ourselves, this boy got himself in this mess. And when God got ready to get him out of this mess, he sent the Holy Spirit, and these bonds that supposed to held him. And when they saw this, they had the assurance that we got him. What they don't say is hook, hog, tied, and collar. But God had his spirit to move, and that spirit set this boy free. And notice what it said about the Spirit. The Spirit did what? Somebody help me.
Came mightily upon you.
That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear that by it came upon him. This is the difference in the Old Testament, how God dealt with his people. God dealt with us different in the New Testament if we want this. If we want to live right, if we want to study God's word and learn it, if we want to get right with God, his Holy Spirit does not come upon us, but his Holy Spirit will get inside of us. Yes, sir. It will live in us. It will do it for us. That Holy Spirit will keep us on that straight and that narrow path. But if we does not have time for God to feed us His word, to put that word inside us, and we need that word, that Holy Spirit will bring these things to our memories. And it's another thing, a spirit will not dwell in no unclean body.
No, it won't.
You have to be careful about what goes into this body. You also have to be careful about what kind of mindset you got into this body. You don't stuff about that's just the way I am. You better be careful about that's just the way I am. And even this mind, even how we think, what did Paul say about the mind? He said, let that mind which was in Christ Jesus, let that mind also be in me. We need the third member of the Trinity. We need to learn about the Father. We need to learn about the Son. And we need to learn about the Holy Spirit. No man could handle this fellow right here.
No.
God is on his side.
So here they are, setting up to go to war. Here they are. Yes, he went and he burnt that cross. And they thought that he had him, they celebrated ahead of time. Premature celebration.
Yes, look what the Spirit did. Look what the Spirit
Thank you, Deacon President. President, we need to look at the Spirit intervened.
Yes.
And I wonder, with all that smiling on their face, with all that joy that they had when they saw this man come out, after the Holy Spirit got to working, I bet there was a change of facial expression.
Right.
We serve a mighty God. We serve a mighty God. Then we get in verse 15.
That's it.
Now they thought they had it.
That is.
They already rejoicing. They already celebrating. They already giving out a victory cry. Because here he is, hooked, hog-tied, and caught. But things changed in the 15th verse. And he found a new jawbone of an ass. And put forth his hand and took it and slew 1,000 men with it. Something we dealt with last week, we dealt with 300 defeating 135,000. Now we got one with a new jawbone of that. Why a new one? Because what he was getting ready, he didn't need no old one. Because the old one might be weak.
That's right.
Old one might crack up. But he got a new jawbone, put it forth in his hand and took it and slew 1,000. Now, do you see anything in this 15th verse that are long gone? A new jawbone comes off of what? A dead ass. A dead donkey. And according to him being a Nazarite, he had no business with that jawbone in his hand. So why did he have it in there? The bad day. Because we can't never tell what God's going to do. Anytime you find somebody so perfect, you can't never tell what God's going to do. Because for him to be a Nazarite, he had no business. Then for it to be a new jawbone, it made me wonder how long had the donkey been dead. But as a Nazarite, he had no business with anything that was dead. But you can never put your hand on what God is going to do. Because he's God, and he's God all by himself. And God will do whatever he wants to do, and we can't question nothing. All we have to do is read it and believe it. If God saw fit for him to go beyond being a Nazarite, because the Holy Spirit will lead this boy. And again, as I said, we can't judge everybody. We need to be concerned about our own sake. Because this boy was different from any other judge that I know anything about.
That's right.
In his attitude. And one thing I know, he was not to be played with. But here he take a jawbone. A new jawbone. And slew 1,000 men with it. And Samson said, with the jawbone, now they rejoice. They celebrate. They have a good time. Verse 16. And Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heap upon heap, with the jaw of an ass, have I slain 1,000 men. So it went from them celebrating to the man of God is now celebrating. Yeah, he rejoicing here. Heap upon heap, with the jaw of an ass, have I slain 1,000. How many? Who else do you know could go up against 1,000 men? They didn't tell us that these men that pitched themselves on Judah, they didn't come down empty-handed. They came down to fight. That's why come Judah was in fear when they saw them. They was equipped to do something. And here this boy take a job on him. God knows he can press him. I don't want to go up against three. I like one-on-one.
What did they have?
Sister Porter said something after that's very interesting. I should have brought that out early on in the lesson. When they turned that back on him, they weren't willing to help him. But she said, why they didn't help him, he had to fight by himself. Every now and then, we're going to have to stand by ourselves.
Yep.
And when you have to stand by yourself, don't go pointing your fingers at nobody else. Because if God is on your side, it's more than the whole world against us. That's a good question she had. Why come the rest of the nation of Israel didn't help the boy? In last week's lesson, when Gideon got after whipping and put him on the run, the rest of the nation of Israel did what? Join in. But we turn around a week later and this boy's all by himself. We can't never tell what God is going to do. That's why I come be so confused about what's going on in the world today. Some people wonder, is God behind this virus? God is behind everything. God's not going to let nothing like this happen in his world. Devil can't do nothing. He has to get permission. He has to ask God, take down those hedges to let me get to Job.
Yep.
Satan is still Satan. God is still God. And we see how much power God has in this day.
That's right.
To take one man.
Yes.
We looked at that scripture in our lesson one night. I don't have it, but we found the scripture said one to do what? Put 1,000 to flight. And we find one right here. One man going up against 1,000 men. And he slew them. And after that, in that 16th verse, yeah, he rejoiced in you. What is he talking about? Heap upon heap. Now we can go into the future. Because during this time, this is before Jeremiah showed up. But Jeremiah, and I don't know what was going on back then, because Jerusalem was under another name, but under David, ever what the name was, that city becomes Jerusalem. Yep. Something was happening, Jeremiah talked about it. And let's just look at what Jeremiah said, just to give us a little insight of what was said, a little understanding on what's going on here about it. Why do you use the term heap upon heap with the jaw of an ass? Someone find Jeremiah 22 and 19. Jeremiah 22 and 19. Reverend John.
Jeremiah 22 and 19. He shall be buried with the burial of an ass, drawn and cast forth beyond the gates of Jerusalem.
Is that it?
That's it?
Read it again.
Yes, sir. He shall be buried with the burial of an ass, drawn and cast forth beyond the gates of Jerusalem.
It was a burial ground called a heap of heaps.
Okay.
And that's where they buried asses, outside of Jerusalem.
Okay. Right.
And he said, this is what I did with them. I'm burying them in the graveyard of asses. That's what he's saying now, according to what Jeremy read about what's going to happen in Jerusalem outside of the wall. They're going to have a burial ground for donkeys, for asses. And this man is rejoicing here, saying, that's what I did to these thousands. They was rejoicing. And now, look at the man of God. He is rejoicing of what they had did with the ass, with the jawbone of an ass. Now, we need to go into this 16th verse because there's something in there that I want to talk about a little bit. In that last sentence, he said, I've slain 1,000 men. Anybody find anything wrong with that?
It wasn't him, it was God's strength.
Thank you,
God
Reverend
gave it
John.
to him.
Thank you, Reverend John.
He didn't do it without God.
This boy was an unfinished product at this time. God is still working on. This boy gonna have some trouble until he get ready to leave out of here. He gonna get it right, but he gonna get it right at the end of his mission. Now, we're gonna find out also he's gonna come up and clean this up. But the thing about it is, anytime we can do something, anything we're doing it for the glory of God. And when something happens of this nature for one man to take a new jawbone and slay 1,000 men, give that credit where credit is due. You think I can give myself any credit for standing in the pulpit? No. Listen, I want myself to get cut down. And I don't care what it is that you do for the Lord. If you sing, you pray, you teach, whatever you do, give that credit to where that credit belongs.
That's right.
Because all the glory belongs to the Lord. And for him to make that statement, but he's going to clean it up. To say, I've slain 1,000 men. God was the one that slain that 1,000 men. It was the Holy Spirit that took over you and gave you the power to slew 1,000 men. In verse 17, and when it came to pass, when they had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand and called that place Reverend Lehi. Now this right here, did you catch anything in that verse?
Yeah.
He called this place Reverend. That's when this place got a name. It had no name until after he slew 1,000. Let's go back to verse 17. And when they spared themselves in Lehi, there was no name for the place at this time. But when he got through doing his work there, slewing 1,000 with the new jawbone of an ass, and it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking, after he made an end of rejoicing about the victory that the Lord had gave him, he threw that jawbone away out of his hand and called the place Ramathat Lehi. And that's where that place came into existence because of the victory that God gave him at this location, where he slew over 1,000 men with a new jawbone of an ass. What kind of weapon is that, Deacon Preston? If I would have been out there, at least give me a sword, Lord. And I don't want just a regular link sword. Give me a long sword.
Fighting like a club.
But this boy's out here with a, thank God it's a new.
Yeah.
Because it would be,
Had to be new, crack 1,000 heads.
Deacon Preston said it had to be new
Crack 1,000.
to crack 1,000 heads.
you had to take into consideration they wore helmets back then.
Yeah, see, and look how everything, they want a new rope, but God gave them a new. Man, you can always gonna win when God is on your side.
Thank you.
They want a new strong rope, but God gave him a new strong jawbone to go out and get the victory. And in verse 18, when he was so athirst and called on the Lord. Now this calling on the Lord is after he prayed. And he was athirst and called on the Lord and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into thy hand of thy servant. And now shall I die from thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised? I really kind of bothered me the way he talked to God here. But keep in mind, he is an unfinished product. Many of us, I said, many of us are unfinished products. And that's why we have to learn how to be patient one with the other. Because God is still working on us. And some of us it takes longer to work on than some of the others. But notice we see that he did have a change of heart here when he prayed. And I like the part when he said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hands of thy servant. He go back and acknowledge, yes, God gave me this victory. It was God that delivered to him into that. And I like the fact what he called himself. He called himself a servant of God. And if we are a servant of God, we have to learn how to serve God. And if you're a servant of God, you have no right. You do what? If you're a servant, in other words, if somebody, that's why Paul called himself when many came a slave. If you're a servant, whatever, who's over you, whatever he tell you to do, you're supposed to what? Do what you want to do?
No, do it.
You do it. So he had come back and he kind of cleaning his mess up in his prayer, thanking God for delivering them into the hand of thy servant. But then he goes right back and shows some arrogance to God. You're going to tell God, since you delivered them, since you gave me the victory, and now shall I die from thirst? You don't quit talking to God like that. But keep in mind, he's still an unfinished product. The boy got problems. We can look down on him, but many of us have problems. Peter had problems. You think about anybody in the Bible, I can find out where they had problems. Except one, and his name was Jesus. Abraham lied about Sarah. The best of them. Solomon with all his wisdom and all his knowledge, bringing all those women in the temple. And David, a man after whom God heart, the first time he saw Bathsheba. Every day at the same time, now he walked. So we all have problems. But I just wanted to bring that out, how he went to God, we did not go to God, showing any type of arrogance. And now shall I die from thirst? Thank God, God is the type of God that he is. And not only that, God knows when we are unfinished products. God does not look at people the way we look at people.
Do you think he wanted the Lord to take pity on him in a way?
He's just arrogant.
He just seemed
This
like he was.
is the type of person he is. He did with his
That
mom.
question.
I think his mindset would be
Yeah.
not to say, you're gonna let me die first, because God could have let him die when he was fighting the Philistines.
Exactly.
You know, so his mindset was just, he was arrogant.
Yeah, he was arrogant.
Yeah.
He was, when you study all about him, arrogance showed up everywhere. Showed up with his mom and his dad. Showed up with those 30 men. Showed up with his father-in-law. You know.
Maybe a little spoiled.
Well,
Maybe a little spoiled.
he was an unfinished in his last days when he's standing by those columns. That's when he's gonna get it right. Because next week's lesson, this boy gonna act up some more. And see, he never should have stuck his hand in there and got that honey.
Yeah, that's right.
And also, he gave some to his parents.
That's right.
He was kind of like president of the United States of America. I do what I want to do. But he said, I thirst and fall into the hand and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised. Now, he felt, because he was thirsty, he felt weak. And this is what he's also telling God. I need to get my strength back because I'm weak right now. And think about this. If he had been in battle with 1,000 men, he needs some water.
Yeah.
He needs some Gatorade. He needs something. But again, let's keep in mind that this boy is no more than a working process. And not only that, God called him before he was born into this world. And not only that, God is with him. And the Holy Spirit is there with him. And that's what I'm saying. We are not to judge people. And I'm telling you how I'm looking at this. Now I can tell you how I'm looking at it, but how is God looking at this? Is all this all right in God's sight? We can't never tell what God is going to do. That's why some people say God cannot be behind this coronavirus with it killing all of these people.
Yes, he can.
He was behind his son when he was hanging out young on Calvary's cross.
That's right.
And the reason God could stand bold when his son was hanging out on Calvary's cross, because he knew that his son lived the way he told him to live. He knew that his son was a servant. He knew that his son did everything that I told him to do. And because he's doing this, yeah, he's going to face death, but he won't stay dead. He's only going to be dead for 3 days, but because of his humility, because of his humbleness, every knee going to bow to him. But on the 3rd day, I'm going to raise him up. And I don't care if it's 1 million people die from the coronavirus. If you live right, God will raise you up. And we have to believe what's in the Bible. If the coronavirus take one of us out of here, I done told my family to be absent from this body and to be present with the Lord. And you get into the same spirit the Apostle Paul said when he said, let the mind be in me that was in Christ Jesus. That's why when Paul said, I'm caught up betwixt. I'm caught up betwixt dying, going to be with the Lord, or staying here. And if I die and go into the Lord, what did he say?
Game.
That's a game. Death is only, to a believer, is laying down going to sleep at night. Just like waking up in the morning. You just resting. God will wake you up from your rest one day. Jesus took the sting out of death. What do you mean took the sting out? You know what a little wasp is. He can come in here and run us all out of here. But take the sting off of him. The sting is where his power is. Death is like a wasp without a sting on it. He can't hurt you. Death can't hurt us. But as long as we're in this human form, yeah, it's going to hurt us then. But it's going to take a while before you come to your senses. Greatest one in this world that I lost was my mother. And God knows I got over that. And I know she's in a better place. And I can rejoice about that. So he goes on here and he said, like the last sentence, and fall into the hands of the circumcised, the uncircumcised. Knowing that the Lord had given him the victory, he knew that they could come right back and kill him. He just asked the Lord. This is a prayer that went out in that 18th verse. So he also was a praying man. Now, I don't know how true this is, but one of the commentaries that I was studying out of, and I do look at commentary, but I teach from what the Holy Spirit allows me to teach. But one of my commentaries I read said this is the only time that he ever prayed in the Bible. But this one time. But I'm going to say this too, we all need to learn how to pray.
All right.
Because that's how you get to God. Prayer is to communicate with the Lord. So verse 9 says, but God,
19.
verse 19, but God played in hollow places that was in the jar. And there came water therefore. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again until he was weak. He knew when his spirit was up. And he revived, wherefore he called the name thereof In Hakor, which is in Lehi unto this day. So, again after that, he said the Spirit came and revived him, and he talked about this place, which is called In Hakor, which is in Lehi, until this day. Now, let's not get confused with this day that we are living in now, but it was in this day that the Bible was written. And this in Hakor is a spring. The meaning of that is a spring of him who's called. That's the meaning of that word. A spring of him who's called. That's what that place, the name of that place was named. And also we know from what we read in the 13th chapter that this boy was called by God before he was born into this world. And God told his mother she was not to drink. She was not to eat anything unclean, and said that the same thing would be for her son. But we know that he did not go do everything that God told him to do. Now we can go to judging him or saying something negative about him, but let's take a look at our own self. Have any of us done everything God told us not to do? And another thing, this is why you never point fingers at someone else if you find out a little something out on them. Because regardless of him not doing some of the things that God told him, God still used him to complete his prayer. And not only that, when you go back to that scripture that we read, it didn't say that he was going to deliver them from the hands of the Philistines. For what you read, it said he was going to begin the deliverance from them from under the Philistines. And believe me, they had been there for 40 years. And they started crying on the Lord. And the Lord heard their cry. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. So thank God that he used this man. And he used him to judge the nation of Israel. Now, when we think of a judge, most times we think of it like a civil court or something like this. Now, many of these judges was military men that formed the army to protect the nation of Israel. But it was not as in a government, but it was more, these judges, as in a leadership. And they were agents of God. And they would tell the nation of Israel about the judgment of God.
Yep.
You get it right. And if you don't get it right with God, you're going to be impressed by other nations. And another thing he was to tell them about their sinful ways. You know what get preachers turned on? When you try to preach to people about their sinful ways. People love to hear about God gonna bless you with this, God gonna bless you with that. People love to hear about when we get to heaven, this and that. But when you try to tell them about their sinful ways, a lot of people think you're messing with them. But this is what these judges are to come and tell them about their wrongdoing, so you can get right with God. And then the reason that the world is in the condition that it's in is because people have gotten out of order with God. And I don't think I finished that a while ago when I told you the whole world is out of order with God. And this nation here is supposed to be a nation of God. In God we trust. Living by what God tells us to live. That's doing everything else. This is why we in America is being affected negative more than any nation on the face of the earth. Because we ought to be a nation of God. A lot of people think it's Israel. When the law shut down and stepped over to break, they started dealing with the church. That's a lot of people in Israel still do not accept Jesus. Now they can call themselves what they want to. I'm not trying to pick on them. They don't even want to be called Christians. They still want to be called Jews. But this nation, America, is a nation that once obeyed God, once acknowledged God, once know how to come together and worship God. And when we used to get, the nation used to get into trouble, they would fill the church house up and pray to God. But now we don't want to do these things no more. And when we don't do these things, yes, we get oppressed. I tell everybody, people don't have to be out here begging for nothing. If you give your life to God and you want to live right, you start being taught the word. And don't just be a hearer of the word, be a doer of the word. When you get somebody that's teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, and you start focusing on trying to live how the word tells you to live, God will bless you. That's why Jesus said, when I came down here, I came that man might have life, what? More abundant. This is still God's word, and God is still in charge.
Amen.
But people so hard-headed, so stiff-necked. Even when you talk about these homeless people, they don't want to hear nothing about God. All they want to do is get a dollar out of your pocket. And if they knew anything about Peter, was that Peter and John, when they went to the temple, and the man was begging for some money, and what they tell him, silver, gold, have I known, but this I do have. In the name of Jesus, get out and walk. There's too many people laying around not doing nothing. But I dare you to let Jesus into your life and get out and walk. God will take care of you when you live by his word and the powers in his word. This is a great example here. I don't care how many ropes, how many chains they try to put on you. You live in the way God tells you to live. They can put the toughest ropes on you, but they won't be nothing but like flat and God put a little heat on it. And it's like wax when it's made. You can't stop God's people when they want to live right. Samson. I told you about that now. There are two judges that's going to be more like dealing from a court system, which is Deborah and Samuel. But Samson, he was willing to be used by God. He also sought his own pleasure. Yeah, he was willing, but he had his own mind. And he wanted to do his own thing. And that woman he going to get a hold to next week, she had her claws in him.
Oh, yeah. Delilah.
What was her name?
Delilah.
Everybody know about it. Delilah and Samson.
Yes.
Yes, sir. But again, Samson was willing to be used by God. And while he was being used by God, he also sought his own pleasures. And when this boy was offended, he retaliated with extreme violence. He sought vengeance. He was the most wayward of all the judges. Now, since we learned this about him, it let us know we don't judge nobody else. Because God can use whoever he wants to use. And he can turn them around when he get ready to turn them around. But let's not focus on the negative about this judge here. But what our focus needs to be on, it is sin that caused us to get into the situation that these people was in. And when we get ourselves into these situations, God will always have a way out for his believers. Then he's going to send somebody to preach to you. He's going to send somebody to teach you. He's going to send somebody to counsel unto you. And he chooses whoever he wants to choose. And this man here, one thing we do know about him, let's look at the positive side of him, that all the power that he had, even in his hair, what we're going to deal with later on, it came from the Spirit of God. And I don't care who come up against this man. Look, most of our men, they formed a military to go into battle, but he was a one-man army. And he was a powerful man. And I don't care what they try to do, we're going to find out no weapon, no force could defeat this man. And I want to say something to the listeners today. The same thing goes for us today. No power, no force, no disease is mightier than the third member of the Trinity, which is the Holy Spirit. You need to know who the Holy Spirit is. When God sent his son down here, the one that got up and declared, when we talking about power on Resurrection 1, that all power is in my hand. And before he left, he said, I'm going to have to leave you, but I will not leave you comforted. I'm going to send you a helper, which is the Holy Spirit. Now there he is sitting on the right hand of the Father. And when we allow the Holy Spirit to work in us the way God wanted to work, and when we mess up, the one that's sitting on the right hand, he just tells the Father. And the Father straighten it up. And whatever we got to do, go ahead on and do what we got to do for the Lord. And I don't care about the error that we find in our lesson about this boy. The thing that matters to me is the boy got a new job on. And he was a one-man army and he slew 1,000 Philistines. And I'd like to say to all the listeners today that no weapon formed against the children of God, that weapon cannot prosper. Why is it the weapon cannot prosper? Why is it the people in high places think they have power? Why they can't hold us down? Because they thought that they had God's son held down. Yeah. And it looked like he was held down. But on the third day he came back and he declared that all power in heaven and earth is in my hand. And the same God that gave this boy victory for the nation of Israel, this is the dispensation of grace. But Jesus came and set his church up down here on earth. And the power is in our head if we learn how to use it. God is still using men to do his will. And none of the men are perfect. The only thing you're going to find perfect is God and his purpose. And God will use it. And he will deliver his people. We're so scared about this coronavirus and all this other stuff that's going on. You better learn how to put your trust in God. Believe him, he got the power. Don't think nobody can chain you down, nobody can hold you down. If God could do what he did for this boy when they thought they had it, hooked, hog tied, and collared, and celebrated. Just a little while longer, the rope was just like fire on wax. Melted, and the boy was free to do the will of God. And that's what we need to do as a church. We need to be about the will of God because the world needs the church now more than it ever needed us.
That's right.
This is no time to be disagreeing. This is no time for having no misunderstanding. This is a time for us to get on one accord.
That's right.
Because let me tell you this, and you better believe this, if this world does not get her act together, God is hitting us with something that has never hit us before. You see the results of all of those. It's a lamb there. Just like in this lesson. But for all of this marching, all of this anger, and look what the governor of Texas did. No respect for this coronavirus. And he was the first one to open up. And I don't know if anyone is here. Do we know which city is getting ready to become the worst city in the United States of America behind the coronavirus? Anybody could tell me in here? It's Houston, Texas. It's on its way. Because we had a governor that had no respect for this coronavirus. When you had a man like Sylvester Turner said, I got to go along with it because he made the law for the state of Texas. I have to obey the law, but I disagree with it. And I'm telling all my people to continue to protect yourselves. Practice those standards. We're listening to the wrong people. And it's hitting our younger people who once they open it up, they can't wait to go back out there, want to have good times and all of this. And now they're the highest rate. There's no time for playing around. There's time for us to realize sin caused this. And the only thing going to straighten it up is to live the way God tells us to live. And you don't have to have no fear. Because God is able to take care of his people. And I don't care how many come up against us. God can take one man to do what he did. He's still the same God. I hope we got something from our lesson on tonight. Let us have a word of prayer. We turn God our Father, the Father of our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. Father, we thank you for this lesson on tonight. We thank you for all of these lessons. It appeared to me as one you had summoned to preach your gospel and teach your word. The condition that the world is in today, as I study these lessons, as I see what's going on in the world today, you're speaking to us with these lessons. Depression, diseases, many seem like they have no hope, many seem they are living in fear, and we know, Lord, that you don't want us living like that. We know that you want us, if you woke us up this morning, to be just like the child of any parent that know how to raise their children. That children don't get up worried about anything. But they just get up being children and acting like children, enjoying life to the full. And the parents provide all of that need. Lord, I pray that you would help America and the rest of the world know that they have a heavenly Father that had a Son and sent your Holy Spirit. And then we learn to listen, honor the Father, listen to the Son, and be led by the Holy Spirit. We can still have life in the midst of what appear to be turmoil down here. Yes, Lord, just touch in a mighty way. And then for your church, Lord. Lord, we need you to bind us closer than we have ever been bound. We need you to help us to be who you declared that we are. Above everything, we are a city that sits upon a hill that cannot be hid. And help us to be a church that will do your will, and when the world see us doing your will, that they might come running, saying, what must I do to be saved? Saved from the condition that the world is in today. Father, this is our prayer. But then we have one, our superintendent of our Sunday school, deacon of our church. Bobby Webster. Father, he went to our doctor on Thursday. He's going to an eye doctor. But Lord, we know about another doctor. We've been getting bad reports, Lord, but we know about another doctor.
Oh, yes, sir.
We know about a lady that got a report that none of the earthly doctors couldn't do her no good, but we know about another doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And she heard that Jesus was in the area.
Yes, sir.
And it was a custom not to go out because there's only millions out there. But she heard that Jesus was out there. And she pushed her way to get to Jesus. Oh Lord, touch him in a way.
Yes, sir.
To regardless of what the earthly doctors say. Help him get to Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes.
Heaven, Lord.
And when they get to Jesus, the one that declared that all power
It's in his hand.
is in my hand.
Yes, sir.
We're praying for a better report than he's been getting, Lord. Because one thing we know that you are able,
Yes, sir.
if it's in your will. This is our prayer on tonight. We're praying this in the precious name of the one that declared that now I have all power. And heaven and earth is in my hand. Precious name of Jesus we pray. Amen and we thank you.